What's up guys, Garrett here and welcome to another video. This one's going to be a little bit different. We're actually going to be talking about all the things, or 4 different things rather, that I've learned in the year and a half that I've been coding. Sit back, relax, it's going to be a little bit of a different style than what we've been doing as of late. If you are a beginner, this video is going to be perfect for you because we'll be talking about things that me as a beginner would want to know. And if you're a seasoned professional or a veteran, then if you think that I missed anything, definitely let me know down in the comments what other things or pieces of advice would be really good to give to people just getting started out. Also, before we get into the video, I want to let you know that I've actually just launched my most recent project. It's called DEVGRUB, and basically it's a cookbook for developers. So if you're interested in joining that, you can head on over, you can sign up, and you can start posting your own recipes to small problems that you've came across and solved within your own coding project. So check that out, link in the description below. All right, so the way that we're gonna do this video is a little bit different than me just, giving you 4 different things. Instead, what we're gonna do is I was thinking about things that 2017 Garrett would wanna know from 2019 Garrett. And so what I'm gonna do is I have 4 questions that I think, if given the chance, which will never happen, but if given the chance, 2017 Garrett would ask of 2019 Garrett. So question number 1 is, how do you find your direction in software development? And that's an awesome question, and one that I struggled with for like a year. Like, no kidding, it took me a year to figure out, or maybe even more than a year, to figure out like where I wanted to go in software development. So to sum it up, I would say that if you know what you want to do, then you should just find the technologies that will allow you to do that thing. So for example, if you know that you want to make mobile, like phone games, then you should go and find the technologies that will allow you to make phone games. So for example, you would have to maybe learn like native iOS development if you're going to be doing like high intensive graphics stuff, right? Because you need to have the native technologies that Apple provides you, or that Android provides you. If you want to do 2D games, then you could still use stuff that the native languages provide you. But you could also use, I think, like Flutter, for example. There's some like game libraries that work with Flutter. I haven't really played around with it too much, but I know they exist. So you could do that. But if you want to make mobile games, then go and make mobile games. Learn what you have to learn. But on the other hand, if you don't know what you want to do, like for me, all I knew was that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and all of my ideas for businesses had to do with technology. So something, a website or an app or something would have to be made. But I didn't actually know anything further than that. I didn't really know anything about coding to even know where to start. So if that's the case, if you're in that situation, which I kind of feel like maybe most people are, then I think that it's perfectly okay to take 3, 6 months, or even a year to kind of dabble in a bunch of different things and figure out which is the best fit for you. It might even take longer than that, but me personally, I started learning Python and Django like a year and a half ago at first, and then I went to Swift and iOS development, and then I went to like machine learning, and then I went back to Angular, and then I went to React, and then I went to Express somewhere in there, and then I went to Flutter, and now I'm circling back to Angular, and it was like it was a very, very long journey just to get to where I am now. And there's nothing wrong with that, but going into our second question, which is, does the feeling of I should know more by now ever go away? And unfortunately it doesn't, or at least it hasn't for me. I think one thing that's important to realize, this question along with the first question, is that if I didn't take a year or a year and a half or whatever it was to figure out what I wanted to do, like what area of software development I wanted to do, then I would be so much better with Angular right now. I definitely think that I'm pretty good at it. I mean, I spent like a month or so on it originally, and then I kind of forgot all of it, so I had to come back to it. And DevGrub, actually, which I just launched today, was built entirely in Angular. And on the front end, at least, it was built in Angular. So I definitely think that in those 3 months or so of me learning Angular this time around, I've come pretty far. But if I'd started originally with Angular and kept going with it, I'd be so much better at it, hands down, right? And of course, I want to know more by now. I think that I should know more. I enjoy coding so much, and I seem to not be able to get the information into my head fast enough. But I think it's just part of the process, and it's something you have to realize. You'll kind of come to terms with the fact that things don't really go as fast as you want them to, and that's totally fine, as long as you keep trying and keep pushing yourself to accomplish bigger and better things every day. Okay, so the next thing is, how can I learn stuff faster? Okay, so that kind of goes along with the second question, which is, why am I not learning fast enough? And, well, I have a few tips, but unfortunately, you can only learn as fast as you can learn, and every person is different, so, it's going to vary depending on the person. But I would say the first thing that you can do to help yourself learn faster is to kind of understand how you learn. Everyone's different, and we all have different learning styles. So for me, I'm a very, very, very visual person. If you just tell me something, I'm trying to visualize it in my head, and I really don't understand it unless I can visualize it, unless I can see it. But once I can see it and see how the pieces fit together, I understand it almost instantly, or pretty quickly. So I think understanding and realizing what type of learner you are will be invaluable throughout your entire journey and throughout all aspects of your life. The next thing that I would say that you should do or could do is to learn the language first. So don't go and learn React without first learning JavaScript, for example, or don't go and learn Angular without first learning JavaScript and then TypeScript eventually. What you could do is, if you have, at least a basic understanding of the language itself, you could learn the framework kind of at the same time as the language, but I definitely wouldn't suggest learning the framework of Angular, for example, without first learning like TypeScript or JavaScript or something like that. It just doesn't really make any sense. So the order in which you learn things is pretty important too. The third thing that I think you can do to help yourself learn things faster is to actually build something. When I was in college, and I started learning how to code towards the end of my college career, if you will, a lot of people would come up to me and say, "Ooh, I'm learning this," or "Ooh, I'm learning that." And I remember someone asking me like how I learned all this stuff, and they wanted to go. I used a course on this website, and they wanted to go and buy the same course that I did. And I remember asking them, "Well, why are you learning this? Like, what do you want to do? Because maybe this isn't the right thing for you to learn. Maybe I can help you and steer you in a different direction as far as what you're going to learn, so that you can actually accomplish what you want to accomplish." And their response was, I don't really have anything in mind that I want to do. I just think it'd be cool to know. I just want to know how to do it. And I remember thinking to myself, like, this isn't something you just know. This is something that you have to learn and spend the time and do things with in order to really know how it all works. It's the same thing if you were to go and learn another language. I speak English, obviously. If I wanted to go and learn, for example, Spanish, I couldn't just read a dictionary. I'd actually have to go and speak Spanish to somebody, because that would really teach me the conversational flow of how to put together a sentence and how to understand that sentence, So I would say that you should come up with a project, even if it's a stupid project. Just come up with, you can go and find challenges online for how to code things. So come up with a challenge online, or go find a challenge online, or maybe you have some idea for something you want to build, and go and build it. Even maybe while you're learning, build it, watch the video of what you're learning, or read the article of what you're learning, and go through the exercises that they have in that tutorial or in that article or whatever, and then go and build your own thing on the side. And you don't have to only stick to the pace of the tutorial. I will do, when I'm taking a course, for example, I use this site called Udemy. Maybe some of you guys have heard of it, or Udemy, I don't know how it's pronounced, but because I'm really visual, I like the videos that they have as opposed to reading things. So when I'm learning how to do something, I will go through maybe 40 to 50% of the course, and then I'll just go and stop the course and just go and start doing my own thing. And along that process of doing my own thing, I kind of end up getting ahead of the course, because Really, the course is just a way for me to see how the syntax and how everything fits together. And then once I realize that, I can just go and teach myself the rest of the way. So if that works for you, then do that. But if that doesn't work for you, then follow the course. That's totally fine. But once you start to be able to work on your own projects, I think that'll really, really help you to see how things fit together, because you'll have to solve your own problems as opposed to just, waiting another 30 seconds in the video until the person solves the problem for you. Okay, so the last thing that 2017 Garrett would want to know of 2019 Garrett is, will I be able to find a job even if I don't have a computer science related degree? And this is a huge question I think a lot of people always kind of wonder. Interestingly enough, the answer is yes. I myself don't have a computer science degree. My degree is in advertising, and that's nowhere near related to software development. I kind of started teaching myself, and then, when it came time to look for jobs, I applied to advertising jobs for sure. It was a no-brainer, but I also applied to a lot of software development jobs, and I was actually really surprised at how many companies were still willing to talk to me, even though I didn't have a computer science degree. Really, what they want to know is that you have the skills, number one. Well, actually, that'd be probably number two. Number one is that you're enthusiastic and that you're willing to put in the work, I would think. Number two is that you're teachable, so they can either teach you or you can learn how to do these things. That's important. And number three is that they want to see that you already have some understanding, that you're not coming in totally blank slate, that they have to teach you everything. They want to at least see that you've made some effort and that you have some understanding of how things work. The other thing that I would also say to that is that don't focus or stress. I mean, stress to some extent is good, but don't focus or stress on oh my God, I'm not going to be able to find a job. And instead focus on is this company a good fit? Because it can be the best company in the world. It can be Google, for example, which is seen as a really great place to work. And you yourself could be the most perfect person in the world. You can learn in any environment and from any person and any material, and everyone who meets you instantly likes you. But if the fit between you and that company isn't a good one, it will be irrelevant of whether or not you can get the job or not, because you won't actually enjoy being there, and that's a huge part of it. Alright guys, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it and thinking about these things, and over the course of the last year and a half, everything that I've learned. If you enjoyed the video, definitely give me a thumbs up down below and comment your thoughts. Maybe I missed something, or maybe you agree with something. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of these videos, and also check out DEVGRUB, link in the description. It's a cookbook for developers, and I really would like to see the problems that you guys have solved in development and what recipes you can come up with. So thanks again, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.